it's time for tip-episodes with quick tips you should know. Techniques you can implement into your workflow right here on A Tale, oh yeah, A Tale of Two Hygienists.
This week's tip-episode is brought to you in part by Proedge Dental Water Labs.
Hi, my name is Andrew from Proedge Dental Water Labs, and on today's tip-episode, I wanted to answer one of our most frequently asked questions, which is what should I do after failing a water test? We know so many offices that are actively treating their water, so receiving a failed test can definitely be jarring, frustrating, and even confusing. My hope is to walk you through 3 simple steps to remediate a failed test and hopefully provide some resources along the way. Let's dive in, and I think the most appropriate place to start is just to recognize that you're testing your water. We estimate that only 15% of the industry is testing their water to the degree that they should. And so there's a certain level of kudos to you for getting that visibility that you would not have otherwise had. Right? Simply receiving a failed test is providing you the information to course correct and do something different so that you can truly have safe water for your patients. So thank you for doing that, even though the result may not be what you were looking for. The 3 simple steps you can take to remediate a failed test start with shocking your dental unit water lines. Now, some of you are familiar with shocking already. It's part of your protocol. For those who are unfamiliar, shocking is using a strong chemical product to really clean out the biofilm and bacteria that have kind of adhered themselves to your water lines. Now, it's not safe for patient consumption. Usually this ends up shutting down the operatory for a certain period of time, or dental professionals just do it at the end of the day. There's a variety of different shock products out there. We have seen diluted bleach, which is just a mixture of water with household bleach, and a product called Liquid Ultra. Some people know it by the pink stuff. Both of those solutions have been very effective at removing biofilm and bacteria from the water lines, which is giving you that clean slate you need to go back into your regular maintenance protocol. Now, sometimes, and this is where I would just advise you reach out to a resource, Proedge. This is our bread and butter. We really specialize in this, and so please reach out if you have any questions or concerns. But sometimes we actually recommend you shock more than once. Occasionally, we see a shock product do a great job at removing a certain degree of biofilm, but it just depends on how much is in there. And so we might look at your colony forming unit counts, your CFU counts, and ask some questions and kind of get to the bottom of, hey, you may need a shock twice. You might even need a shock 3 times. But all of that has the same intent. We're trying to get back to ground zero. We're trying to get back to a CFU count of 0, a clean slate, and really do our due diligence in putting those water lines back to a place that's clean and ready to be maintained. So after we shock, whether that's 1, 2, or 3 times, the next step is to retest, which is really show the results of your hard work. Retesting is that check mark that you desired from the beginning. It's going back and sampling that water, whether it's sending it into a lab like ours or doing a mail-in test, and getting the green light, getting the pass test result that you wanted from the beginning, checking that off your list of things to do, knowing now that you have safe water for your patients. So that is, you cannot miss that step. That is so important that you put in the hard work of shocking, but then you go back and you retest to ensure that it is in fact safe and that it did in fact work. The last step, I would say, is one of the most missed steps. And I think part of that is just time, right? Moving from the next task to the next task. But I think this step is tremendously important. That is evaluate. take some time to evaluate, whether that's with you, your team, or with a resource like Proedge, and getting on the phone with a safe water consultant or an expert. Evaluate potentially what may need to shift so that your maintenance protocol is even more effective the next time you test. It's asking simple questions like, are we treating the way that we're supposed to? I can't tell you how many times that question alone has revealed that we thought we were putting tablets in every time we refilled the bottle, but it was really like every other time, right? Yeah, we have a straw product, but it's 6 months expired. Oh, we're supposed to shock quarterly, but we're really doing it more biannually or twice a year. And so this opportunity to come back and evaluate really opens the door to some incredible conversation that leads to a much more effective protocol. We have even discovered sometimes through this process things like dead legs, problems with the plumbing. We've seen issues with the source water, and I'm not trying to generate even more additional confusion or to scare you into thinking that might be your office. I don't know, but this process of evaluating has become instrumental for really us in working with dental professionals to help elevate their maintenance protocol so that there's a higher percent chance of passing on the first go, on the first test cycle of each quarter. And so that's what we're hoping happens for you as you wrestling with receiving this failed test, but now knowing in confidence the next steps to help you not just remediate, but cultivate a protocol that's going to work even better for you moving forward. So let's recap. If you've received a failed water test and you're wondering, what should I do now? There's really 3 steps to take. The first one is to shock. The second is to retest. And the third is to evaluate. Again, I cannot stress this enough. You don't have to go in alone with doing waterline maintenance. Proedge is here for you. We have an incredible team of resources, of people, of educational videos, how-to videos, things that'll make this process so much easier for you. You can find those at proedgedental.com. You can reach our team directly at 888-843-3343. Thank you so much for doing your due diligence in creating a safer space for your patients. And personally, I want to extend a thank you to the listener for taking the time to listen to this tipisode and hopefully glean some things from it. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day.
A tale of 2 hygienists.